The AI world is moving so fast right now that it is impossible to keep up with all of the latest tech and news, especially if you're a business owner who's got a company to run. So today I wanted to go back to basics. So I invited my friend René Lambert to come and share his top 10 most practical AI use cases for your business. So let's get into it. René, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for the invitation, Jason. My pleasure.
Yeah, so what are we going to talk about today? What's everybody going to learn? What are they going to walk away with if they stick around till the end of the episode?
Yeah, so today I thought about presenting 10 different ways that you can use AI inside your business, but also your personal life. And so there's 10 different ways I personally use AI on a daily basis.
Yeah. And so this is going to be kind of just like a casual conversation where we're going to chat back and forth about maybe some of the different ways that business owners, those of you watching, can really think about how to harness AI in your daily life without having to do a bunch of complicated coding or agent builds or some of the other stuff that we talk about on this show all the time. So, all right, let's jump into it. What's number one?
Exactly. So all those 10 different tips are going to be generalistic. You can apply those 10 different tips using any large language model like ChatGPT, Claude. So the first one is basically something that I learned on YouTube by a Stanford professor called Jeremy Utley, and is to use AI to amplify and augment your creativity. The way you do this is basically to use it as a companion. So you don't just have a single way transactional conversation with the AI, but rather like you train the AI to be your teammate, like someone that's be inside your business as a teammate. So if you ask some questions, you don't like the input, then you train the AI on having the output that you desire for different things. So in some ways, when you build a long chat with an AI model like Claude, it becomes kind of like your second version of yourself, which is super helpful for when it comes to thinking about different problems or just things that happen inside your business or your personal life. And it gives you insights sometimes on things that you didn't really think about. You didn't think about it the same way.
Yeah, have you. How do you do that inside of? So I use ChatGPT, and I'm on the paid $20 plan, and they let you kind of customize some stuff, and they've got some built-in memory. But are you doing anything sort of? You're obviously not talking all in one chain in one chat window, maybe for one instance. But is there any other things that you've done to sort of train that AI inside of there so that it sort of remembers and encapsulates so that you can create that? Because that's one of the hardest things is you want to treat the AI like an assistant, like a partner. But it only has very limited knowledge of what it is that you're doing unless you maybe put it into a project or something like that.
Sure, it's a very good question, Jason. In reality, all of this is just based on the number, without going into too many details, it's based on the number of tokens that the AI can remember and basically that you can input. And this has been going up and up in the last few months, weeks. And so now, a lot of the large language model are actually able to have a lot of context. And so we're talking about hundreds of books pasted into one chat window if you wanted. So that makes it possible for you to just literally have a conversation with Claude. And I use Claude for this type of conversation. I found it to be more interesting than ChatGPT. Just if I give the why here, I find ChatGPT to be more of a yes man than just someone, I say someone, but something that's going to challenge you. Yeah. And not be a yes man all the time. But basically, we're seeing so much fast progress in terms of AI right now that if you can have everything inside one chat window, then it's going to be the most optimal thing for you to do. And if we go more on the technical side of things, it's kind of why we're talking about maybe it's the death of the RAG system. So like retrieving, augmentation, and generation. When you make an AI agent or something like that, because now you can just have one context window, and it kind of remembers all the context.
And
one tip
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say one tip I can give for this is anything that you wrote for yourself, maybe your life story, maybe what you're doing with your business or your business plan, anything like that, you can just paste into Claude and give this as a context, and then from there just have a conversation with it.
Yeah, I was watching something on the TV the other day, and they were doing an interview with a guy who was using AI pretty much all the time. He was asking, and he was using the voice response one. I can't remember which one it was. I don't even think they said, but he had the same problem where he was doing everything contextually in one window, one chat, and he hit the wall after like 6 months of using it, and it reset. And this person, he kind of viewed it as a person, like someone who had helped him and spent time with every day. He's a coder by trade. And then, boom, all gone, scratched. It's like a friend died, and he couldn't believe that was happening. And so I think it's not kind of interesting to think about where we're going to go, like you said, when there's almost an infinite amount of information that you can feed into one single conversation that you have with an AI agent without having to build out rags and stuff like that in order to keep track of information. It's a crazy world. I'm a little nervous about what this is going to mean when the super intelligence becomes self-aware, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, that can be worrying when you think about it because it's probably closer than what we think. Yeah, but right now we can only work with what we have, right?
Yeah. All right. What's number two?
Second one is just simply research. Basically, I don't think you should be, I don't know if you're still doing this. I don't do this anymore, but you shouldn't be just Googling stuff anymore. I think it's like archaic at this point. And then if you do research and you want to have all the sources and you want to have the most complex, not most complex, but most complete answer, then you should be using AI to do that. Because pretty much all the AI now have access to internet. Claude finally has access to it. Thanks God. But I also, I talk about Cloud and ChatGPT. I use Perplexity for when it comes to research the most because it uses all the model and it gives you all the sources and all the links. So from there, it's really something that transformed the way I was working. My research are done way faster, which can translate to me being more productive in the business, and in essence.
Have you tried out Perplexity Lab, their new research tool for going? It's amazing. It gives you graphs and charts and all kinds of things. It breaks down. I've had it write entire content strategies for me based on what the research it did on other people's content, and it comes back with percentage breakdowns. It's super cool. I don't know if you've done. That's the way I do it too. Is in Perplexity Lab.
Yeah, I haven't done, let's say, deep research paper like this with Perplexity, but I've done it with, I think it was ChatGPT. Yeah, it's the ChatGPT research model, which
Yeah, and the
basically,
deep research model. Yeah.
yeah, it does the same thing. It's getting very crazy what you can do out there. I would say though, it's still good to know a little bit of what you're researching because models still do hallucinate sometimes. So don't treat it as a single source of truth. It's why having access to all the sources when you research is good with this, so you can confirm the information.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So very quickly, number 3 and number 4 tips. This is something I use on a daily basis. Since my mother tongue is not English, it's French. Number 3 is correct text. So anything that is important for me to send out, I just want to check the grammar. There's no need to pay for like Grammarly and things like that anymore. Just feed your text through ChatGPT or Cloud or anything like that. Ask it to not modify the way you write, but just correct your mistakes. And basically, you got a free correcting tool now. So pretty cool for your business, but also your personal life. And also, if you're a student and you listen to this, then it's pretty cool not having to waste money for tools like that.
Yeah, and they've got some stuff that's built in as well into like Apple Notes now that will automatically just clean up your grammar and spelling. So I still have the Grammarly app on my computer. It's the free version of it, and it more gets in the way than anything else. It just bothers
Exactly.
me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
In a sense, and that's a business topic itself. AI is kind of creating new opportunities, but also destroying legacies, software like this.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it right now when it comes with Grammarly, or there's something for French people and Tidal, that's called. I think those software don't need to exist anymore, really.
That's
So yeah.
scary. It's scary to think of the creative destruction that's happening right now and how much it's going to impact the world over the next few years. It really is both terrifying and exciting at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to follow. Like if you want to follow everything that's happening right now, it's pretty hard, and it has never been so easy, I guess, to find a new opportunity and get it done real quick. But it's also at the same time never been harder because everyone can do it.
Well, are you an overall optimist on AI or a pessimist in terms of what it's going to do in the short term? I think long term we either all they either it either destroys us or it becomes the most helpful and creative and greatest revolution since the wheel, right? But in the short term, over the
um,
next 5 to 6 years, what do you think about what's going to happen to America, to the world, and to the economy as this starts to roll out? Because it seems like a freight train that's not going to stop.
yeah, it's a very interesting question. I put a lot of thoughts into it for myself, but also I had the same discussions with entrepreneur friends from all over, and it's very hard to say. I would like to say I'm an optimistic for it, but also I do recognize that there might be a there might be a world in which it's become impossible to get ahead if AI is just like takes care of everything, and so maybe you'll be born rich and you'll stay rich, and then if you're not born rich, then it's going to be hard to get ahead in some ways. There's a possibility. A friend of mine, a super big entrepreneur here and tourist in Europe, and also my mentor, he's thinking that government might start taxing AI, so it's a more advantageous for enterprise to deal with real humans than dealing with AI itself, so that people can still work. Because if everyone uses AI, nobody's going to be working.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say right now it's more about amplifying humans. But when you see companies like Microsoft like generating 30%, 40% of their code and laying off engineers right now, there's also a right to be worried at the same time here.
Yeah, no, and I have the same issue with. I think the way I've kind of positioned it and the way I talk about it on the show is you either adapt or die. That's what's going to happen. You're either going to figure out a way to adapt to this very rapidly changing economic landscape that we're in. If you're a business owner, if you're an employee, it doesn't matter. Or you're going to die. The worst thing that I hear is when I hear about owners, outlawing the use of AI inside of their companies, or worse yet, employees who are using AI, but who are so nervous about sharing what they're doing. And, oh, I just cut 10 hours a month off of my work because of these processes I'm using. I hate hearing that, because what it tells me is that information is not getting shared, and you're basically isolating yourself, and there's no way that you're going to be, maybe you survive, but there's no way that the company survives if we don't have this free flow of information of like, how do we optimize? How do we get better? How do we get leaner? And how do I make
Yeah.
sure that if everything's burning down around me, that I'm the one standing on the ashes? Because I think that's, in many ways, that sounds super bleak, but in many ways, that's what a lot of industries are staring at right now.
Yeah, 100%. I think right now, if we're taking right now, and this could be different in 6 months, who knows?
Yeah.
But right now, if you're an employee in the business, so either you're a business owner and you want to install AI, then that's cool. But if you're an employee, you have the chance of being the champion of change inside your company, and also not being removed because you're the champion of change. So you have a chance right now to just start learning about this, learning about literally no-code tools like N8N, learning about the foundational use cases of AI and how you engineers prompt, and then start using this and just transform the business you're in. And chances are, if you do this right now, you're going to be more valuable to the business you're working with.
Yeah, no doubt.
So yeah.
Yeah,
And as
totally.
a business owner, I would say uh, you have to do it, but be careful. The stats don't lie also. Like 74% of the businesses out there that are trying to get AI into their business, or like they're thinking about it, they don't get any ROI, so return on investment with it, because they don't have the foundations basically to do it, which is having good operations first.
Yeah, I was just talking with somebody else about that, Nolan Harper, and we were looking at an onboarding process that he had built for his company. And that was one of the things that he was really clear about. He's like, this doesn't work if your company is broken and you don't have good onboarding and operations inside the business. And I think that Well, and I also think that there's, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's a lot of hype too. I mean, there are 1,000 N8N videos a day going up onto YouTube. And a lot of them, when you look at what they're building, you're like, there's no way that's functional in a real world. Like, there's no way that that works. That's just designed to look really cool. So, people will want to download your JSON code.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's kind of there's a huge gap right now in between what's being shown out there to get followers and get some hype and like what's actually in production out there. I would say if you just learn, like spend 20% of the time to learn 80% of the basics, if you just do that, then you will cut through what looks like, what is wrong, what doesn't actually work, and
Yeah.
you will understand also like what's real and what's not. If you just do that tiny work, which I think everyone should actually do because it's part of the adapt or die, like you said.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. I'm sorry. We got off track. What number are we on? 3 or 4 or 5? Where are
Sure,
we at?
we're at four, but four
Four.
is very simple, translating. I mean, I'm a French Canadian right now. I live in Estonia. I use AI every day to translate Estonian language because it's not even the same type of alphabet right now. So, uh, translating and business, if you have any invoices that are not your language, are not English, they're not your native language, you can just make sure that everything is right. Contracts. I had contracts even to me in Estonian language. Obviously, you want to read your contracts before signing. So
I didn't even
use
think about that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because
a
normally you'd
basic
have to
function.
get them translated. Yeah, it's something basic that you could do a really good job with.
Yeah,
That's a good one. I hadn't thought about that for contracts and stuff. Cool.
yeah, 100%. Number five is similar to the first one, but just more pinpointed. Brainstorm ideas. So if you take to your double, you talk to your double, so the AI, and you just lay out to the AI what you've been thinking about and all the things that you've tested, and you say, find me things that I did not talk about, then you just got yourself a new list of like entire new things that you can try on a specific problem. So if you're building, let's say, an outbound campaign for your business, right? And you want to build this on an intent trigger. So when someone does an action somewhere on the internet, it should launch your email or your LinkedIn message. But you don't know any like intent trigger that might be relevant, then just ask AI what it thinks about this. So maybe you're gonna get new things that you didn't think about. Maybe you're gonna only get things that you already thought about, but it's gonna be a validation that you're on the right path. Just brainstorm ideas. Remove the blank page syndrome by using AI. That's like the number one thing that you can do with AI right now in your personal life and business, and save you a lot of time.
Yeah, I've even noticed that the stuff that gets generated back to me is, I would say, probably about 80% of it is just sort of like generic AI stuff. But there's another 10 or 20% in there that's kind of good. It's halfway decent, but it triggers something in my mind. And I go,
Yeah.
oh, I don't really like that, but you just made me think of something, and now I have a path. Now I can go back and I can say, no, I want to do it like this, and we can play around with that. So you're right. It's the blank page issue exists in every business, no matter what you're doing, and in every aspect, especially if you're in a creative business like I am, right? Like you are, where
Yeah.
you've got to really think through processes. That there's a lot of what you do, there are principles, but there's no like step-by-step process that you follow. And so that's kind of that's where I've found a lot of benefit in sort of brainstorming. The AI is not really creative, but it can spark creativity in you.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same as if you're reading a book, right? Usually the core concepts are good, but when you read something and then you think about something else that you read maybe a year ago, then your creativity sparks and you're creating something entirely new. You're thinking about a new concept, and you can use AI to do the same thing, basically.
Yeah, and if you
Um,
combine number one with
yeah,
the one that the whatever we are on 5 now,
yeah,
if you have enough, if the AI has enough information about you and your business and your processes and the products or services that you offer, it does an even better job of coming up with creative ideas or helping you align them with your core marketing strategy that you've got. It really is pretty
yeah.
amazing what you can do with just a little bit of extra effort in these free or really low paid chat models that they've got.
Yeah, 100%. Two tips I can give for this. One is very simple. You can ask AI to give you esoteric takes on what you're trying to brainstorm about. And so things that people won't really think normally about. And you can also ask it to link two different concepts. Smart people out there, they're smart usually because they're able to link maybe real estate concepts to some finance, and then some way they can calculate like some values of their real estate in a different way, which gives them a better like idea of the market. Or there's a lot of things that you can do, and when you mix two concepts together, you can create something new, and then maybe that gives you an edge. But you can use AI sometimes to actually prompt it to link concepts like that. Maybe it's going to give you something you don't like, but maybe it gives you maybe it is going to give you something that you do like, and that sparks another idea in your mind as well.
Yeah, no, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Okay, gang, quick break to tell you about our sponsor for the show, Motion. Listen, if your calendar resembles a Jackson Pollock painting and you find yourself constantly falling behind schedule, you need to try Motion. It's the AI-powered super app that rebuilds your workday in real time. Motion pulls every task, every project, every meeting into one place and then prioritizes and time blocks your calendar so that you always know exactly what to tackle next. It's kind of like having a project manager and a personal assistant and, I don't know, an air traffic controller all rolled into one. And the results? Well, teams tend to finish work twice as fast with 90% fewer check-ins, emails, and meetings, which, let's face it, it's something we can all afford to avoid. And because Motion predicts delays before they happen, you can course correct in days instead of hours before a deadline. Now, I've swapped my patchwork of calendars, task apps, and sticky notes for Motion, and I have never been happier. So click the link in the description to try Motion for free today and start turning chaos into calm. Now, back to the show.
For number 6, fix problems. So normally everyone, the normal path before ChatGPT was probably to go on Google, and then you'd get on YouTube and then you watch a video about fixing your problem. Now, similar to like research, just use AI. I like to use Perplexity for whenever it comes to fixing problems, even when I do no code and coding work, because Perplexity uses all the models. And I found it to have the best results actually for solving things like that. So no code, even no code problems. And it gives me the source of maybe a post that had the same problem. So I can go and look into the raw content itself, which is super useful, because if you just ask ChatGPT, most of the time you're just going to have an answer by the AI, which might not fix your problem without any source. So Perplexity, big plus for that one as well.
I did that this very morning. I was trying to figure out how to shut off a notification in Slack, because every time I upload something from Google Drive, I get a Slack bot notification that tells me, oh, I can't import this kind of file into Slack. I'm like, I don't care, but I couldn't figure out how to shut it off. Normally I'd have gone to Google. Instead, I went to Perplexity and asked it what to do, and it gave me a step-by-step instructions. Or I go to YouTube. If it's more complicated, I'll go to YouTube. But I'm shocked, because at the beginning of the year, I wasn't using any of this stuff. And now maybe ChatGPT, right? But really nothing more than that. Now I'm like, it's such a big part of my business and my life. Can't imagine not having this stuff anymore. And it's been like 2 years since we even started on this journey. It's wild.
Yeah, it's well, I was saying to my partner, I think yesterday, I was like, Rob, I don't know. I can't remember when we didn't have ChatGPT. It's just insane. Like, whenever I have something I need to think about or fix a problem, I just use AI now. And then maybe it fixed my problem. Maybe it puts me in the right direction to fix the problem. But yeah, number 7 is something that also completely shifted the way I think about learning. So you can use AI to learn. And I'm not saying like, ping it about the specific topic and take it for cash and learn with AI. I'm saying if you want to learn a topic like AI itself, first you can ask it to do like what you have in university, a curriculum, a course curriculum. So you can ask AI to just create yourself a curriculum, and then you can ask AI to give you resources, so book, YouTube videos, articles about each of the different topics in the curriculum, and then you can ask it to test you as well, based on the different topics that you're learning. So it's like also going to actively help you learn. So you as a business owner or just an employee that's trying to upskill yourself, using the thing that you're going to learn is perfect for this.
Yeah. No, it's I saw somebody do that. Have you also seen, I don't know if you saw this, but ChatGPT has been quietly rolling out a new version. They've got deep research, and now they've also got study with me or something like that. I don't have it yet, but I've seen some videos done on it, and that looks pretty cool, kind of along the same concept that you're talking about.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but for sure, and I'm hoping for something like this too, because school system has not been changed in like a century now,
Yeah.
over a century, and AI is for sure going to change things here. Basically, if you can have a curriculum and you can have someone that helps you learn each of those topics, then it just becomes a matter of having your grades and the certification, right?
That's right.
Which maybe the AI is going to give you at some point. So there's going to be a lot of change in that industry as well.
Yeah.
Number 8 is summarize. So if you want to keep up, I'm just going to give a tangible example that I use in my business right now, because if you want to keep up with AI itself, it's been said that you probably need to be reading for at least an hour per day, literally, weekend included, because there's so many different things happening every day. It's almost impossible unless you put time every day. The way I achieve this is I have some bots that serves the internet for me for any new global news about AI, and then I use AI to summarize the news itself and give me the key learnings and the key points. And that makes me able to basically distill a lot of articles, so maybe like 10 articles, into one page of things that I can learn in 5 minutes. I can learn and read in 5 minutes, my bad. Which it makes your ability to consume information a lot more optimized. And it makes your ability to stay alert on what's happening in your industry, whatever that is, optimal.
That's a pretty easy workflow to build out too. I built a news agent similar to that. And then I'm just going to let me give a plug. I don't know if I'm assuming this is what this guy does, but I read this guy's newsletter every day. His name is, oh man, I'm looking for it now. I'm not going to get it. He has I'm here it is. His name's Eddie Yoon, Yoon, and his newsletter is called AI Exec. And basically, he just summarizes all the key events and news for the day. And I'm assuming, since this is an AI guy, that this is probably just auto-generated. It just puts it together, and then he goes in and looks at it and makes any minor corrections or tweaks to it. It's got all of the stuff that you should know about what's being rolled out. That's how I knew about the new browser that OpenAI is getting ready to release. Yeah. It's in competition with Dia and what's the one from Perplexity? Comet. That's what that's one's coming out.
I don't know, actually. There's so many browsers. Personally, I use
you
one.
live in this stuff, and you can't even keep up. I can't. There's too much. Like, it's happening too fast. Yeah. I don't know where we hit this point of overload, where it's like, hey, we can't move forward because human beings can't pick up the slack to figure out what's going on and the changes quickly enough. Do you think we get there, or do you think that it just rolls over the top of us?
Well, don't quote me in the statistics. It's been a while I read this, but I read somewhere that usually it takes about 10 years for humans to properly adopt and make new stuff out of new concepts that are getting rolled out. And so now with AI, that kind of like that puts this in a whole new world of perspective. Like, if we have something new every week, and usually it takes like 10 years to adopt a new technology, then how are we going to do with AI? Because if the statistics is real, then people are still not adapted to ChatGPT. And in fact, most of the population still don't use it. So they're missing out on a lot. But now we're not talking about things like, let's say, VO3 from Google, which can generate entire movies with AI. And so can also generate pretty accurate deepfake. It brings a whole new set of problems that nobody's actually prepared to. And if you want to, it's basically impossible to stay on top of every industry in AI. It's not. You need a team around you. So the only way I could see this possible is you join a community of like-minded people, and you just exchange with them. Like I said, people exchange the most major news into every different AI industries, and that's pretty much it. Because now, it's crazy, and I can't even imagine when AI is going to develop AI.
Well, and how fast it's coming. It's really quick. I think the biggest struggle for me and most of the people I talk to is I can stay superficially aware of everything of most of the big things that are happening, right? But I can't go deep or understand everything that's happening because so much is happening. Like I know VO3 they just came out with a brand new model. I know it's there, but I haven't had any time to go look at it or explore it. I know that there's, some new technology beyond Lovable. So if you want to do some vibe vibe coding and put together websites and stuff, I know some stuff's out there, but I haven't had any time to play with it. And if by the time I get around to it, something else is going to change. Like last week, we put out a video about the Dia browser. And by the time this episode's drop, it'll be last week. Well, I just read this morning, the day before that episode dropped, that brand new browser. And I'm like, well, God, I wish I'd had some time to look at that one before I went over and made this video. It just is, it's coming in wave after wave after wave. And I don't know how anybody in the industry keeps up with it, frankly, but eventually one of two things is going to happen. We're going to lose control of it and the whole thing, or human beings are going to slow down and say, all right, we need to figure out how to actually adoption is going to be important, not just creation, right?
Yeah, I think, the only other industry that reminds me of is back in the days when I started crypto and all the different industries you have in crypto. It's was basically impossible to follow up all the new projects that came out and what everyone else did and all the new technologies that came out. AI it's the same thing. Both are basically in a matter of week. You have enough, and a day is like a week's worth of change essentially. Yes. So there's it's going to be interesting to see how it is. I think people are just going to specialize in different part of AI, and maybe you're going to have generalists. So like surface knowledge worker for this, which. At this point, like I'm pretty well versed in AI. I install AI in 2 businesses, but I kind of consider myself a generalist because I'm not an expert, like a top 0.01% expert in any of those different AI industries whatsoever. What I do is if I have a client project and I got to install an AI workflow inside the business, and I'm going to learn what I need to learn at that moment to basically install it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, it's glad to know I'm not alone in this frustration, in this tailspin, head spin that I'm in all the time. But anyway, all right, we got distracted again. We're on 9.
Yeah, no worries. So 9 is both for entrepreneurs or for employees as well. AI can help you to hire or job search. So you could create an optimized resume. You could apply. You can find all the jobs that fits your description. So if you're an employee and trying to find a certain type of jobs, then it's kind of easy now to have AI just scrape everything that exists on LinkedIn or something else and then apply it to everything for you. So that's going to speed up the process. And if on the opposite, you're an enterprise that's trying to hire for people, then you can screen people way faster now just by importing their resume into your screening workflow that you're making. And then you can go through thousands of CVs in a matter of minutes now, which is super helpful. I had to do this for a client. And then it lets you filter the surface level application, and then after that you can go more in depth. So super
important
useful.
too if you're an employee, especially somebody looking for a job, is that you have optimized that resume for those AIs. That's going to, because you have to pretty much assume if you're trying to get a job with anybody other than a mom and pop or maybe a local business, that they're sifting you through some sort of AI first into A/B pile before they go deeper and somebody puts their hands on it to actually look at your resume. So if you're not doing that, it's going to be a problem for you.
Yeah, 100%. Another thing is for the later stage, if you're hiring people, chances are that you're having this interview not in person if you're an online agency. And so if you record it and you have the call transcript, then you can feed that call transcript into AI to do further screening. So things that you might not remember, well, AI is going to catch it in the transcript. And so you can interact after that. It's like a 1v1 with the AI. You can ask a question about the candidate and see if it's a good fit. So it's super helpful for hiring. It definitely helps us entrepreneurs.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that, but that is really smart. That way you don't forget anything.
Yeah. Which, the normal hiring process is usually filled with our bias, whatever they are, and AI kind of puts this back neutral in some way. So it's a super interesting feature I had the chance to actually use for a client already.
Cool.
Perfect. So last step, more in the financial stuff is I would say budget planning, because if you're trying to expand your team or you're trying to basically create a budget for your enterprise for the different categories, so software, learning, staff, new projects, or research and development, you can ask AI if it's wise, and then if you have a project proposition by someone, you can feed that into your budget AI and ask if it's if the investment is wise, if the ROI actually works for you. And that becomes kind of like a financial advisor without it being a financial advisor. So there's a lot of opportunities for this. I'm pretty sure people are going to make AI specialize in this to offer businesses some financial guidance, because finance and accounting is, they are two things that most businesses, like the small businesses, don't like dealing with, but they have to deal with. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of companies already that are starting to build products for that, and I think that this is something really important for business owners to understand, because up until now, when it came to technology or application software, it was always just, oh, is there an app for that? Is there software for that? And then I take the software and I sort of have to make it fit into my business, and I try and find the software that most closely represents what I'm trying to get done inside my business. And I think very quickly, we may be there already. It's just tough to tell with everything moving so fast, where we go from there's an app for that to there's an app for me. No, there's not software for that. No, we're software. I can personally design software that is just for me and does everything that I need it to do and nothing else. And if I need to bolt anything on, I can easily do that. And to be able to do it at a cost that's near zero, I think we're going to get there, where building software, really, because AI does 99% of it, you don't have, there's zero cost to that, or near zero.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, totally. I think we're getting there way faster than what we think. I actually had this conversation today with my partner. Basically, MCP. So if you're listening and you don't know what it is, it's worth having a watch on different videos. But MCP is basically the USB-C plug for software. So
yes,
it is going to be possible in some near future to just prompt and say, make me an accounting software that does X and Y and connect it to Xero, because I'm using Xero, and connect it to my Airtable. And then basically it's going to use both Airtable MCP and Xero MCP, and just connect the whole software and their APIs together without you needing to do anything. So really creating a software that's going to fit your need with just your text is going to be entirely doable. So it's going to be a matter, I don't know how the future is going to resemble with that, but it's going to be a matter of who has the best UI UX. Maybe we go back into...
No, you're right. Because it may be as simple as any piece of software or code that anyone has written, or any AI agent that you could literally, because MCP, for everybody, I know you just kind of explained, but it's basically like, it's a language modifier, it's a translator. So imagine you have one, René who speaks French and I speak English, and we can't really communicate, and we don't know how to share information, right? Well, that's why APIs were kind of created, but you don't actually know in an API. There are only certain things you can bring over, and you've got to know what verbiage it wants in order for it to talk to the other thing. And the MCP basically is like a translator, so that as they talk to each other, and it's plug and play. I'm pretty sure I got that right. So you could realistically build yourself a nice UI, and then just through MCPs plug into other agents that specialize in certain things that have been pre-built, and then you can take that and use it for yourself inside the company, or even sell it to somebody else to use. I'm fascinated, man. This feels like the Wild West. It feels like, man, anything goes, and the doors are wide open, and nobody in government really knows what any of this stuff is. Most of them don't even know. They're still on Facebook, right? That's where they're at in their online journey. It's both dangerous and exciting.
Yeah, I think, well, government are going to be the last to move for sure. I mean, I come from Canada, and they're not the fastest when it comes to government change. So
No.
that's for sure. One thing I'm really looking forward, maybe it comes with MCP, but it's when the whole accounting is just going to be automated with AI without any errors and without any need to pay some kind of verifier like $150 per hour to just click on OK. And I think most businesses, small, medium, large, I mean, they're going to be happy with this when it comes out, because for smaller businesses, it's always a pain to just pay your content, really. And
Yep.
at the end of the day, if you have a NODSIT, you have a NODSIT by the government because they think there might be an error that might be you, man. But it won't be a discussion if it's all made by AI that's also verifying everything. So
Yep. No,
that's gonna.
you bring up a good point, because I think if you are in the bookkeeping or the accounting business, there will still be accounting work that will be done for large companies where things are very complex, at least for the foreseeable future. But for your average accountant who's doing taxes for small businesses, or your bookkeeper who's working at a mid-sized company, yeah, you need to be worried, because that's what AI excels at, right? Very standardized, mathematical, two ledger accounting, whatever you call it. That's super simple for an AI to do. And I
Yeah.
think we're on a cusp of having something that basically you just mentioned, where I don't have to pay an accountant 160, 180 bucks a month to go through all of my stuff and reconcile everything. That it's just going to click a button and it's done.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, accounting industry is something that nobody likes dealing with in terms of entrepreneurs. Nobody likes actually dealing with it, and it's something that AI excels at. It's just a given that someone's going to make something, and it's going to be one of
Yeah.
the first things to be made.
Yeah. Well, we'll end on a high note, but not if you're an accountant or a bookkeeper. That's going to
Yeah.
be a tough one for you to swallow. But anyway, hey, Renee, how do people find you if they're interested in talking to you maybe about some work and they've got something going on? How do they find you?
For sure. So many ways of contacting me on LinkedIn, René Lambert. I have a YouTube as well, René Lambert. And if you're trying to join me via my email, it's rene@wingrowth.com. There's those different ways of contacting me. Usually pretty easy to find on those different platforms.
Perfect, man. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for sharing the tips, and thanks for the great conversation.
Well, thanks for the invitation, Jason. It was a
All right.
pleasure.
Talk soon. Okay, y'all. I've been wanting to have kind of more just a sit down conversation with someone in the AI space and about where we're going and what's happening and how is this going to affect business and how is it going to affect your employees. And I felt like this was a really good discussion about that. And if anything that I said or that Renee said in this that got the wheels turning in your head and you're like, hey, I really should be implementing this more in my business. I should be finding some processes that we can automate inside of the business and some things that I can do for the employees to help them. But you're just not at a point where you're ready to start designing your own software. Maybe you're a little more unorganized than some other companies are, and your operations aren't up to snuff, and you're hoping to look for some AI that's going to help you with that. Well, I want you to check out Motion, because they are incredible when it comes to project management, when it comes to assignments and making sure the projects stay on track. They have brand new AI agents that they have built into their software. They have documents. And because everything is connected inside of Motion and all of it is sort of backboned by artificial intelligence to keep everything working, it is so much more efficient than whatever you're currently using. So even if you just want to dip your toe, you're just looking and you want to say, hey, is there something that Motion can offer me and my company? Go check them out. I guarantee you there's a link in the description where you can get a free trial. And if you have any inkling that this might be something for you, schedule a time to talk with them. They'll talk. It's no hassle. They're not trying to twist your arms. I know the people who work there. They're fantastic people. You're going to love them, right? So go check it out. Click the link in the description, get signed up, and then find out what Motion can do for you.